One, two, three, four.
Hey everyone, this is the Infatuasian podcast, a show where we like to elevate and celebrate Asian culture and creators. And today we have a 3-time guest. Woo woo woo! It's our old pal Kat Lieu, founder of Subtle Asian Baking, cookbook author. Kat has a new book called 108 Asian Cookies, Not Too Sweet Treats from a Third Culture Kitchen. Welcome back to the show, Kat.
Thanks for having me again.
I know, we were just chatting, like, does that mean, the fact that you're coming on 3 times, does that mean either I'm desperate for guests or you're too available? What does it mean? What does it mean?
It means that we're good friends.
That
Come
is
on.
true.
We're from the West Coast. We're just lifting each
Mhm.
other up.
Yeah, no, and you're pumping out content. I mean, this is your 3rd book. So
Yes.
that's good. That's good. So yeah, first one was Modern Asian Baking at Home, 2022. So that was around when we first chatted, like way back in the 22s. And then was it Modern Asian Kitchen? Was that the
Modern
second one?
Asian Kitchen, The Middle Child.
And now 2025, 108 Asian Cookies. We'll get to it in a second. Let's chat with you first. Back up in Seattle.
I'm still in Seattle, yep.
Still up in Seattle. But we'll talk about your tour later. You're coming down here, so I actually might get to meet you in the flesh.
Yes, you have to come. I think it's October 30th.
Yeah, I think that's what you said. Omnivore Books. We'll pump it at the end as well. But you're doing a couple other California stops?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's just San Fran and LA. 2 stops.
Okay. But we'll point people to the. I guess it's going to be on your Instagram, yeah, when you have tour stops.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll tell you that at the end. But I learned a little bit about you that I hadn't learned before by reading your introduction to this book. Born in Montreal. I didn't know that about you.
I'm Canadian.
I guess. Do you have both?
What do you mean, dual citizenship?
Yeah. Do you have 2 passports?
Is that brought up there? No.
I know. Oh man.
By birth, I'm Canadian, but I do have dual citizenship. I don't have my second passport, however.
I don't know. If I were you, I would get it.
I mean, I'm so close to Vancouver, so if I wanted to, and Seattle is like the last bastion of hope in America, I feel. So I think we're okay.
I mean, you're pretty far away from the other Washington, but
yeah. Most people here are like pretty blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we're on the West Coast, but I was in Montreal this summer and loved it. I thought it was great. I thought we had French pastries every day. It's kind of like a North American France, North American Paris.
It really is, especially if you go to like Old Quebec, the Quebec side, where they really speak like just French, even though they know how to speak English.
Yeah.
But
100%.
Montreal is like, I feel like it's my home city. Like I could always go back to it.
Yeah, but we were at an Airbnb that was like 2 blocks from 3 different bakeries. And so we had a croissant or something baked every day. It was glorious. It was so good.
Yeah. And did you have a cube one? Like one made in a cube?
Oh, we saw it on our last day, but we didn't get it. But yeah, is that a kind of a Montreal thing, or?
I think it's just a kind of like a modern spin right now on croissants.
Yeah. But yeah, super fun. So yeah, you were there, what, only 2 years though, yeah?
Well, 2 years of my life when I was born there, then every summer I would go back as a kid.
Do you have, you had grandparents there, yeah?
Yeah, they're both gone now, but they had an apartment right by the Chinatown where I would live in. I spent 1 year, I was there for 6 months because my mom was having my younger sister in her belly. And so I was there babysitted by my grandparents and my older sister. But it's so different growing up there versus Brooklyn because it just felt so much more safe. Like I would just leave the apartment, go down to the underground malls, explore Chinatown. You'll never be afraid of getting kidnapped or hit on the streets versus like back in Brooklyn, it's like, okay, go to school, come home.
Yeah. And actually, I didn't know about this either. You mentioned that you were out kind of partly near, what is it, Coney Island, like area where there weren't a ton of Asians for part of your life, yeah?
Actually, there were a lot of Asians, but there weren't Asians my age that were girls. Is that funny? Like,
Ah,
everyone growing up with me were boys, so I had
hmm.
no friends my age who were Asian girls. In fact, I don't think there were many girls in my neighborhood, but actually a lot of my neighbors were Cantonese Chinese.
Huh, okay. But you said there were some kinda microaggressions, a little bit of taunting, and it wasn't always a fun place for you as a kid, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's Coney Island back then. I don't know about it now. It's been gentrified, but back then it's a bit of a slum where you had the government put all the people who were poor in the neighborhood, right? So
Mm,
a lot of it was subsidized living. Like even my house was a subsidized house, for lower and middle income people, and then it was mixed with a lot of very low income housing, unfortunately, and then there was some violence, I had a neighbor who was a friend who was actually just knifed outside of his home. He died at the age of 18. So it wasn't the best neighborhood to grow up in, but I
mhm.
think it gave me a lot of like, reflection and insight on what I wanted in my life and where I would want my child to grow up in and what I wanted
Uh,
to do with my voice moving forward against racism and so forth.
yeah. No, that was cool to read. That kinda shaped you a little bit, which led you to found this group called Subtle Asian Baking. Now, I didn't know that you didn't even start baking until 2017, so you were sticking to work and just looking for a pastime, or what got you into baking?
So I did a lot of cooking. My parents would
Mhm.
work and I would cook for them and help them, prepare the food and they'd come home from work and we'd have dinner ready. Baking was more of a thing that I did with my grandma back in her kitchen in Montreal,
Uh,
but in our kitchen at home, there was always pots and pans in the oven, so we never actually baked. I
yeah,
never
yeah.
baked a real cookie from scratch outside of the Pillsbury Doughboy cans until 2017, 20 no, actually cookies was 2020 when we
Oh,
started
wow.
Subtle Asian Baking the group, and we made a matcha cookie with one of our moderators, William, who owns a bakery in New Zealand, and he taught us how to make cookies live, and that was the first time I baked a cookie.
Oh.
2020, okay? And 2017 was when I had my own kitchen in Washington State now in my bigger home, where I don't have to stuff my pots and pans into my oven, and I'm like, "I'm just gonna start baking." Started with banana breads, right? Then I was, like, into macarons. I was so into perfecting macarons.
Uh-huh.
I made cakes for my neighbors to befriend them, like in, Stardew Valley, where you have to give gifts to the NPCs to be their friends. Like that's how I made all my friends in my neighborhood by giving them food, right? And that's how it
Mhm.
really started, just baking as
Okay.
therapy, baking during COVID and so forth.
Yeah. So 2020 was the birth of Subtle Asian Baking?
2020, May 2020 was the birth of Subtle Asian Baking. We had our live later that year on cookies. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, I mean, unfortunately, perfect timing with the pandemic, right? Everyone's home. The hardest thing was getting ingredients maybe during that time.
I think I did a lot of Instacarting then.
Okay. Okay. So that kinda took off in 2020, and here we are in 2025. Have you noticed a lot of differences in the last 5 years with the group or
Well, the
people?
group has transformed a bit, I would say. A lot of it now is on Threads, Instagram versus on the Facebook. There's
Okay,
still
yeah.
a lot of lurking on the Facebook group, but it also goes along with like what COVID was, right? People were stuck at
Yeah,
home, they were all
yeah.
baking. Now people are doing cookie swaps live, right?
No,
They're
yeah.
doing a lot of like cake picnics, cookie swaps, live classes, they're more into their livelihoods outside of the online space.
Okay,
And
yeah.
online space is like where people doom scroll, right? At
Yeah.
nighttime before you go to sleep or you're on the toilet, like going through your TikTok FYP, like scrolling through. The
Mhm.
groups have transformed a bit, but I found a new community now in Threads. It's really
Ah,
thriving, and
huh,
my Instagram has really picked off. So I've been able to raise a lot of funds through Instagram actually versus through Facebook.
huh, interesting. Yeah, so, everyone out there, if you haven't checked it out, you can still find it on Facebook, but maybe Instagram and Threads is a little more active, you would say?
Yeah, and I pushed it more towards my personal branding, so at Lieu.
Cat Lou.
Yeah.
All right, so go check that out. But we're going to be talking about Asian cookies today. Was
Yay!
that so? That was kind of, would you say, one of the more popular items on the Facebook group?
Cookies, yeah, everyone makes cookies. I mean, cookies is a year-long, year-round thing, right?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
always baking a cake, but you can always bake cookies,
yeah,
right? And who doesn't
yeah,
crave one, you know? Like, if you wanna snack on something,
yeah.
is it a slice of cake? Is it a full cheesecake, or is it, like, a little piece of cookie, right? So
Just grab
I
a
felt
cookie.
cookie was the natural progression. I really wish it was my second book. Right.
Uh,
So it would have been like modern Asian baking at home and then 108 Asian cookies. But things always happen for a reason, you know? So now we have 108 Asian cookies. Maybe next we could have 108 Asian breads. You know, we don't know
uh-huh. Yeah,
where it would go from there. But cookies just felt right.
yeah.
You know, there's barely any Asian author or any POC authors who's
Mhm.
authored a full cookie cookbook. And
Yeah.
this is the very first one that's Asian themed.
Yeah, I had to
Not
think
just
about that.
not just in America, in all of the world.
Huh. Yeah, I had to think about that when I saw that. When you mentioned that in your book, in the preface, I was kinda like, yeah. I think my mom probably has maybe 15, 20 cookie books, but none of them are Asian, and she does this cookie swap every Christmas, and I don't, it's a mixed group, but I don't think anyone's ever made a, uh, specifically Asian cookie before, so you're
Right,
right.
right. There's Asian recipes, Asian inspired recipes, so
Sure.
you'll probably find 1 or 2. Like, maybe a cookie book would have, like, a matcha one or maybe 1 miso cookie in there, but there's
Yeah.
no one book that has all Asian flavors, inspirations, and stories, and they're all cookies.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. 108? What's the story behind the title?
Well, 8 in Cantonese is "bát," which is a hominin for "fat" or fortune. It was also my dad's favorite number. You know, he would balance his checkbooks with the number 8 at the end, and I would always crack up. I'm like, "Dad, you're wasting your time, doing these little things." But that was what made him joyful, so I shouldn't have made fun of him then.
Yeah.
And so the book is a bit of a tribute to him, adding that 8, and I really wanted a huge book. So I was like, "Should it be 88 recipes? Should it be 98 recipes?" I was like, "Go big. It's either 108 or 1,008." So we'll go with 108. A lot of people have been telling me 108 has a lot of Buddhism symbolisms too. So
Okay.
I think it's gonna resonate with a lot of people, this number.
Yeah. No, it's gorgeous too. Flipping through it, picture on every page pretty much, right? Like you have
Yeah.
every recipe has a picture
Yes.
and you have a pantry list, you have equipment list. It's really, really good looking. And like I got the PDF copy, but yeah, I'll definitely get one for you to sign when I see you in October.
Yes,
So
please, and one for your mom and her baking group, so that's
yeah, no,
10 books,
for sure.
Curtis.
Oh, okay. Do they have a 10 pack at Costco? Can I?
10
But,
books.
yeah. No, I'm excited for it. I'm super glad you wrote it, and, yeah, I'll tell you about it later, but we already baked a few of the recipes, and, yeah, they are, I can tell you, delicious. Not just saying for the podcast, they are
Yay!
good. Okay, and also homage to your dad, 8 chapters, so that's very cool. How about I'll give you kind of a summarized title, and you can expand on what's in each chapter?
Sure.
Alright, chapter 1 is essentials. What is that all about?
Yeah, so this one is the one where if you're thinking of making a cookie tin or a gift box for a friend,
Okay,
and you're not the best baker in the world. Now, I listed a bunch of them, the most simplest recipes that also highlight delicious flavors
okay.
from across Asia and in my pantry, from my pantry, that you can try. And most of these cookies are very familiar with a beautiful spin, right? So you'll see the first one that I started with is the cowboy cookie, but I call it an Asian cowboy cookie. And then I want people to think about that. Like, that's your visualization for the rest of the book. It's like, wait a second. Yes, there are cowboys, but all of my life, I probably never envisioned an Asian cowboy, right? But
True.
they exist and they have the best accents. It's so cute. So yeah, so that's that book. So if you're looking to make a gift box or you want to just start somewhere, you would start
Mhm.
with that one.
I saw that. You have a snickerdoodle, But instead of cinnamon, what are we doing? We're doing 5 spice?
5 spice, yeah, we're adding 5 spice. It was, my mom loves adding stuff to my food, like extra pepper, extra chicken powder, and then sometimes she added, like, 5 spice to something, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense, this tastes good, so let's
Yeah.
do it in a snickerdoodle." People in my neighborhood love this cookie. They're like,
And it
"I've never thought of adding 5 spice, like, you're a genius." I'm like, "Yes, I am. It's not my mom, it's
Yeah.
me."
Yeah. No, it's cool. Then chapter 2, Silk Road.
Yeah,
Uh,
so again, Silk Road is really this is the one where you'll find more traditional recipes that is more culturally derived. So I have something like the Sri Lankan rock sugar cookie, right? So it's something that you can find in
mm,
Sri Lankan culture, and then but I just redefined it a little bit by adding like pop rocks, which is my kid's favorite cookie, right? So
mhm.
taking something that's cultural, traditional, but giving it a modern spin. So you get the history from the Silk Road, a bit of that in the backstory, which you also get with a lot of the cookies, such as like the Middle Eastern shortbread, right?
Uh-huh.
The Middle Eastern
Uh-huh.
shortbread. You have the Vietnamese chewy sesame candy. Then you have the Thai shortbread, where the Thai people we call the Thai people.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the Thai people would actually add a scented candle to add fragrance to the cookies,
Oh,
and the
wow.
cookies would have, like, lots of colors to represent a flower. This is a very traditional, fun cookie that I feel like would be great to be gifted or for us to learn about, right? So, it's
Mm,
a very respectful, fun, and modernized spin of what you could have found back then on the Silk Road,
yeah.
translated to today.
Yeah, yeah. Different cultures, different it's a journey.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a journey of a chapter for learning and exploration.
Alright. Then chapter 3, you get a little bit away from the round things, and you're going into bars and brownies and blondies.
Yeah, which are all cookies, by the way.
Uh-huh,
So a
uh-huh.
brownie is actually a cookie. But yeah, here, I talk about how I felt all of my life that brownies are so cloyingly sweet, achingly
Mhm.
so that it hurts my teeth and gives me cavities. So I wanted to make them not too sweet. And here, even like if you go to recipe number 139, you have yaki imo bars. Wait, no, on page 139, yaki imo bars with miso honey caramel, which someone just recently made on social media. And they're like, Kat, a caramel that is not too sweet. This is amazing. So that's what I want people to get away from when they make the recipes in this chapter. Like
Okay.
a new
No.
spin on our brownies and blondies and one biscotti, plus one biscotti, only one.
Okay. Throw it in there. Now the next one, would never think of these combinations that you came up with for this next chapter. Sugar and spice. What you're throwing in some gochujang? You're throwing in other stuff to this?
Yeah, well, with East Asian, Southeast Asian cuisine, there's a lot of spices, right? My
Mm-hmm.
grandma, Vietnamese, Cantonese lady, she would eat like Thai chili peppers and not flinch. Right? My dad would put sriracha on everything. So I
Uh-huh.
thought, I wanted to give homage to all of these beautiful ingredients and flavors, but then also spin it into a cookie. I think part of it also we could attribute or thank Eric Kim for his like really viral gochujang caramel cookie that he made on the New York Times, which I adapted and turned into a sriracha version.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Do people have these been on the site for a while and people love them, or what's the feedback from these spicy cookies?
Well, I haven't made a lot of them, but I've made like gochujang into Rice Krispie treats, and that was phenomenal. It was one of my
Mm,
most viral recipes. I've made it into Bass cheesecake. People love it. I've made
mhm.
sriracha puppy chow. People love, and like people love adding chili crisp to like their sundaes. So why not a cookie, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then you take it the next 2 chapters are kind of a spin on that even more. You're going with umami and even adding MSG to cookies, and then you also have
Yeah,
alchemy and fusion. So what are these next 2 chapters about? They're kind of real a mad scientist approach to cookies, huh?
yeah. I would say it's more of like a chaotic kitchen wizard approach,
Okay.
right? So I kinda imagine myself as, like, a witch in a kitchen, right? Where all of your ingredients are, like, part of a spell book that you can make, right? And your dishes are just magical. And why not MSG in cookies? So people already do put salt into their cookies. They put
Right.
salt flakes, right? The thing is, if you make, like, something like a matcha cookie, matcha has a bit of umami, and you wanna amp all of that up with a sprinkle of MSG, and that's really the point of it. And I think what's delicious about, like, not too sweet cookies is that there's just so much balance in them so that they're not all just one note sweet, right? That's the
Mhm.
beauty of the cookies in here, and you really, get a whole breath of them in this chapter, the 5th chapter, Umami Unleashed.
I love it. It's almost like it's a mini meal in a way. It probably satisfies the savory tooth in you as well.
Kinda, maybe the maple chashu, cookies, maybe because they were based off of, like, a toast that I used to make. But, like, if you think about the peppery and cheesy cilantro cookies, they're more like if you think of goldfish. It's like
Mm.
an Asian
Okay.
goldfish, but, like, in a square form. So, they're not in a sense that feels like a meal, they're still a snacky cookie.
Okay. All right. And then you got a chapter on special occasions, and then you end with a box of not so sweet. So those are more like candies, or what's that last chapter about?
The last one, it was a spin on Forrest Gump,
Uh-huh.
life is like a sweet, a box of cookies, a box of
Uh-huh.
candy, sorry. And it's really just a reflection of my journey. So,
Hmm.
like, you start with the Jollibee-inspired peach mango dumplings. I talk about how I would used to read, like, Better Home and Gardens and, like, look at all the recipes there, and then, like, I reflected on, like, "Whoa, this is a recipe that I would love for people to see in magazines." I came from this kid who was growing up Asian American in America, feeling like an other to a published author, right? Making
Mm-hmm.
recipes now. And it's just another it's full of family. I think it's
Yeah.
full of family stories, and that's why I ended it with the durian tea sandwich cookie for Amma. It would be the ultimate cookie that I would make for her. Unfortunately, she passed away, like, during the marketing phase of this book, but I wrote it in intention of, like, one day making it for her before we said
Mm-hmm.
goodbye. So I actually had to edit the book after she passed, so,
Mm,
kinda sad, but, that life is what life is, so.
yeah. No, but she lives on in these stories.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this book, for stories
Mm-hmm.
that you would never hear otherwise to be
Yeah.
told.
Yeah. I love it. All right, so yeah, so many flavors. I think the audience out there is probably thinking this is something. This is not just your average chocolate chip cookie book. There's a lot of nuances in interesting ingredients. Do you have a favorite ingredient that you kind of went to more than others?
Yeah, well, I went through a search of the book, and one ingredient was used as a word in the book 251 times, and, the word is miso. So
Yeah.
I think, like, maybe over a half of these recipes have miso in them.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start using miso in cookies, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I get what cat means." Like,
Uh-huh.
these cookies are hard to put down, and you keep
Okay.
smacking them in your mouth, and you're like, they're not too sweet, has that
Yeah.
hit of umami. It's just so, so good. So I would say miso.
Yeah, we my wife and I are flipping through it, and thanks to you, we have a tub of red miso and white miso in our fridge now.
Yay! I mean, miso is so versatile. You could mix it with butter and have it for toast, for breakfast. You could
Yeah.
marinate your meats with it, so good for you.
Now, is there a taste profile difference between red and white miso?
I never use white miso because I find that it's just not bold enough for my use.
Oh,
So
okay.
I always either use red miso, and then if you want to jump to a different flavor profile that's very different than either white or red, then it would be black because that
Oh,
one's a bit tangy. So it has a
yeah.
bit of a tang. So I like that one too.
Okay, yeah. No, we had the white one in there already for our salmon and for our other stuff, and now we have a tub of red one as well. And you
Yeah.
don't use a ton, right? You only use like usually 1 or 2 spoonfuls of it. It's not a major ingredient, but it's key ingredient, yeah?
For most cookies, If I'm making 12 cookies, I would use 1 tablespoon of miso.
Okay. Okay. Do you sit around at dinner sometimes and you're eating, like in the last year or two, eating dinner at maybe a 9-course meal at a Chinese restaurant, and you start to think, I could probably bake that into a cookie?
I can make anything into a cookie, honestly. I
Yeah.
have this gift that if I eat something once, I could recreate it.
So did some of these recipes come to you just kind of at a banquet or at a meal or a diner?
I don't know, it's sort of magical how things just come to me, like, it's
Hmm.
what I've eaten in the past, like, there's a pho cookie, there's a ramen
Yeah.
cookie right in there, there's a matcha wasabi drop cookie, there's a pandan amaretti, I mean, the things I don't know, it's just kinda I think of flavor profiles, like my chocolate sandwich cookie with Thai basil. I love the flavor of Thai basil, and I was like, instead of mint and chocolate, we're gonna do Thai basil. So, yeah, I
Mhm.
think I draw my inspirations from everywhere. It comes from liking to eat.
Yeah,
If you
true.
like to eat, you like to create, and also I'm very, like, snobbish about food. So I go to a restaurant, I'm like, "Ah, I can make it better, I can make it better," and I keep experimenting.
Hmm.
Right, I'm so unimpressed with food a lot of the times when I go out, especially if the bill's very high. So I think that drives me to experiment more in the kitchen.
Uh. Were there any recipes that were just a little too, quote, unquote, "weird" for the book that you had to say, "Well, maybe America's not ready for this recipe?"
Honestly, like, everything is kinda weird in there, right? I mean, that's
It's
what makes it
yeah.
special. I mean, I'm a weird person. I
Yeah.
would honestly say there has never been a book like this. There's not gonna be another book like this unless I write it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
It's just very, very special. Like I go places where a lot of people might not go, like adding
yeah,
char siu to a cookie or adding
yeah,
fish sauce and bourbon or Japanese whiskey instead of vanilla extract,
yeah.
things that I did or adding a lot of pepper into a cookie.
Mhm,
Lots and
mhm.
lots of black pepper, right? So
Yeah.
I go there because I like to really heal my inner child and be creative. So part
Mhm.
of this is a creative journey for me. So I do feel like, a lot of these cookies are going to be weird for people. If you look at some early reviews on Goodreads and NetGalley, there are some people who actually say that it's a little too weird for them.
Uh-huh,
They think it's
uh-huh.
super innovative, but I promise you, Curtis, there's going to be one cookie at least in there for
Yeah,
everyone, everybody,
yeah.
no matter how weird.
For sure. For sure. Well, speaking of that, let's talk about a couple recipes. So the one that we just made this week is fresh on my mind is well, I say we, is I ate them, but Viv, my wife, made black sesame white chocolate cookies. And they were a slam dunk. They were so
Yay!
good. I
Yum!
I love black sesame and it has so much texture. Audience out there, if you haven't had black sesame, you gotta go have black sesame. It's so good.
Actually, this one came from a Subtle Asian Baking member.
Okay.
So I also looked through the archives of our group and looked at what were one of our
Mm,
most popular recipes, and I adapted from there.
okay. Yeah. And we were commenting that sometimes when you make cookies, it takes a few tries to get it right because everyone's ovens are different and humidity and all those things. But these came out perfect the first time, and that I think that shows the testing practice that you put into this. So how many times are you making this? How many different people are cooking these as you test these recipes?
Oh, a lot of different people. So each recipe was tested at least 3 times.
Okay.
So once by me when I'm dreaming up the cookie. So I'll do it in the kitchen. Then I'll send it to a recipe tester. Usually I'm very lucky and the recipe tester is like, perfect. Then we don't have to
Mhm.
make tweaks because if I perfected it and they perfected it in the kitchen, that's 2 out of 2. Great.
Yeah.
The 2 out of 2, the third time would be when our stylist made the cookie to shoot the
Uh,
cookies, right? And everything
yeah.
here that was shot in the book is edible. So they added no glue, they added nothing
Uh-huh.
artificial. So everything that you see in shot was something that we ate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's at least 3 rounds of testing.
Yeah.
And there's some cookies that took like 9 rounds of testing. And so that was the pho cookie because the first one I made it taste too nasty. It had everything. It had sriracha, hoisin sauce, lime. It had MSG, it had soy
Huh.
sauce, it had fish sauce. I was like, "Oh my god, there's this is not where it should be, cat." And so I was like, "Okay, let's redo the pho cookie."
Mhm,
It was too pho.
mhm. But yeah, I think the process works though because if you cook something off of like maybe TikTok or you just find someone who throws it up on Instagram, it's not tested like that, and so
No.
the variations it comes out totally not what you expected. But when you have a real cookbook with people who are testing it with definitely some quality control, the recipe is just gonna work better most of the time.
Yeah, but, you can't attribute for everyone's humidity, the model of their
Yeah,
oven. You can't
sure.
attribute for, like, if I'm using a different butter with a different amount of fat. So I prefaced it in the book, give it some grace, you know?
Mm.
Nobody's recipe is gonna be perfect the first time. Like, even when I was testing my second book and I was making recipes with a different mixer, the results
Oh,
were different. Right? So
interesting.
I hope people give me that grace. Like, I
Yeah,
tried my best to test and test and test, but there's no recipe that is 100% foolproof
sure.
despite testing?
Yeah, yeah. One other one that caught my eye, we haven't made it yet, but speaking of an ingredient that is having a little bit of a moment, I was thinking about maybe trying to do the salted egg yolk cornflake haystacks. What was your inspo for that one?
That one was I was thinking up of cookies that Midwesterners and, Americans love, and there's haystacks. And I
Yeah.
wanted something that's quite easy that even like the person who says I've never baked and I always fail in baking,
Uh-huh.
they can make it. And
Uh-huh.
honestly, now that you've reminded me, that one is one of my favorite ones to eat.
Hmm.
It is so good. I don't like using the word addicting, so I won't. But if you don't have much eating control, don't make don't make that one, okay? That way, like,
Yeah.
everyone loves it. From the
Yeah.
salted egg yolk cornflakes that you can snack on to the resulting haystacks. That's so
So
good.
good.
I don't
So
make it
good.
often because I can't stop eating
Yeah.
those.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the
they're so
occupational
good.
hazard. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone out there, get a copy of this book. If any of this sound good to you, we've only talked about maybe 6 cookies. There's 102 more to go in this book. So definitely go get a copy of this available everywhere. All right, Kat, you have survived our basic questions. Are you ready for our YAO, which stands for Your Asian Opinion?
Okay, yeah.
All right, give us your YAO, please. What is the best cookie to bring to a potluck if you want to impress people? If you want people to come back for more, ask you for the recipe, what cookie are you bringing to a potluck?
I would bring right now would be my matcha monsters. So one of the
Mm,
earlier cookies in the book because they're so big and thick,
yeah,
and when you
yeah.
rip them open, there's, like, a bunch of treasures inside, and the cookie is, like, not too sweet, they're just so good, like, I gave a cookie to my friend recently, and she's like, I don't want cookie." I was like, "Well, just take it, I made it." She's like, "Okay, fine, you made it, I'll take it." The next day, she texts me, "I shared the cookie with a friend, and they're like, 'Can you bake more and we'll buy it from you?' Like, how much would it be?" Like, I'm like, "Oh, whatever,
Uh-huh.
just learn the recipe."
Yeah, yeah.
That
Actually,
one.
I forgot to ask you the question. That sounds like a great one, but I forgot to ask you the question about the sugar ratio in your cookies versus like something you might find in a regular good old cookie book. Is there a lot? Is it a lot less? Like you think maybe half the amount of sugar?
You can't put too little amount of sugar because sugar does lead to texture,
Sure.
right? It does affect the texture and structure of a cookie. But what I did do is I used a little bit more brown sugar, which has tempering of sweetness because of the molasses.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
did use like in a standard cookie, if you find like 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar, you'll see that mine would have 1 cup instead of 1 1/2 cups, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So Pollock, we're bringing the matcha monsters. Those things are giant. Second question. What's your son's favorite cookie in the book? He's probably the one I want to trust with this opinion here.
You can't because every new cookie I make is his new favorite.
Okay.
It's like, "This one's so good." He loves my mochi cookies, which I
Uh-huh.
do have in the book too, but I do call it the best chocolate chip cookies ever because my son Philip has declared these to be the best cookies ever. So that's
Okay.
recipe 2. But since I wrote that recipe and that head note, he's told me that a lot other cookies are his favorite. So you can't
You
really
know
trust a kid, whatever you
what?
feed them at the moment is their new favorite.
Okay. Well, you can't trust him, but you can trust him at the same time, right?
Oh, he likes most of them, and he is sometimes he can be picky. So yes, yes. He doesn't like really sweet things. This kid doesn't
Huh.
eat candy. Have you ever seen a
Interesting.
kid who doesn't eat candy? He does not eat candy.
Okay, but cookies approved.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna name you a celebrity. What name a cookie or something you'd either gift them or that this person might inspire you. Michelle Yeoh, what cookie would you give her or what cookie reminds you of her?
Well, she's so spicy. So I
Mhm.
would say, like, anything with ginger, like my ginger snaps with Sichuan peppercorn.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that's her. It's like a firecracker.
Yeah.
Very powerful, very unforgettable, and, like, that pop of spice and kick of heat. To me,
Yeah.
that's her, like a queen with lots of fire. So, yeah, anything with ginger or those ginger snaps.
I saw that, and you even sprinkle some peppercorns on the top, which are beautiful,
Yeah.
unassuming little peppercorns, but man, your lips are gonna be a little numb after that.
Yeah, people love it. They love that about this cookie. It's
The
so
sweet and
bold.
spicy, yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right, how
good.
about one of my favorite guys right now is Bowen Yang, Saturday Night Live. You got a cookie that reminds you of him or that you might give to him?
Well, he is so bubbly and so sparkly, so I would say there's, like, at least 2 cookies that would be perfect for him. The Sri Lankan sugar cookie with the popping rocks, right?
Okay,
So, like,
yeah.
it's so bubbly just like him. Or it would be the belly button cookies because 'cause they're, like, little colorful gems, and then we could do, like, all the LGBTQ plus colors of gems for him. I think he would
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Okay, yeah. And then an OG, I think you met him once, but, he's a Bay Area guy, our good friend Martin Yan, the OG of them all. What would you get Martin?
I've never met him,
Oh,
but the first time I made something from scratch, watching someone on TV was Martin Yang's scallion pancakes.
okay.
I was, like, maybe 9 or 10 years old, and I made those
Yeah.
scallion pancakes for, like, my mom, my sister, and they all loved it. So,
Mhm.
anything with scallions or
Okay.
chives. So, it would be those, peppery cheddar chives cookies that I was trying to tell you about that are kinda
Mm.
like the goldfish. So, it would be
Mm.
that for him.
Yeah,
Something
that's
savory. I would think, like, he probably wouldn't want something too sweet at his age, sorry, not to be ageist. But, yes, the
Yeah.
peppery and cheesy cilantro cookies, but I'd add a pop of scallions for him.
Okay. Martin Yan, come by on, October 30th, and who knows, maybe you'll get a scallion cookie.
Oh my god, can you bring him? That would be
I
amazing.
wish, I wish.
Can I stalk him?
I know. Okay, we'll put it out in the universe. He's not that he's a social guy. He likes meeting up with people, so he might come by.
Aw,
Who
so cute. He
knows?
is so
Who
cute.
knows? He's the best, yeah. All right, I think that's gonna do it for our episode with Kat. Thank you so much for coming on, Kat.
Oh my god, thank you again, Curtis, for having me the 3rd time. Hopefully not the final time.
I know. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Everyone out there, you can follow Kat at Kat Lieu on most social media, Threads, Instagram. Are those the two main ones that you're on these days?
Yeah, I'm on Threads a lot, so Catlieu is Katlieu. And then also I'm on modernasianbaking.com. And I
Mm-hmm.
do write for a lot of places, so you'll see, my bylines across, like, Simply Recipes, Tasting Table, All Recipes, Parade.com, and so forth.
All right. And if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, come on down to Omnivore Books in San Francisco. Get a copy of 100 Asian cookies. You can buy a copy there. I think you can pre-order a copy with them, and they'll have it there waiting for you. And you're doing signings?
Yes, I think that they will be a Q&A and a signing.
Yeah.
So please
All right.
come, everybody.
Pack that place. It's tiny, so you got to get there early. But yeah, you can get to meet Kat in person on October 30th. Hey, and if you bump into me there, I'll give you a Infatuasian sticker. You can get one too, Kat. How about that?
I think you gave me one before.
Did I mail? I mailed you one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
because we've
waiting
never
all
met.
year for it.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, but we've actually never met, so that'll be fun to actually meet you in person.
Yeah. Are you gonna bring your students to my event? Maybe it'll
We'll
be
see.
a special extra credit.
Yeah,
1 point if
1
you show
point
up.
if you stand in line around the block.
Yeah, do it.
Like, what is that line for? There's so many kids in line for it.
Code.
Who could it be? Yeah.
Amazing.
All
I love
right.
it.
That'll be fun. Day before Halloween. And then you said you're probably going to do LA. You doing LA first or you doing SF first?
SF's my last stop if it's the
Oh.
30th, right? So it's my last stop, and then I'm gonna head to. I think I'll come back here, and then I'll head to New York.
Okay. All right. And pro tip: don't call it San Fran. People get mad when you call it San Fran.
What do I call it?
You got to call it SF or San Francisco. I know it's weird.
Okay.
People don't like it. Yeah. People get a little mad.
SF,
yeah.
SF. So
SF,
never say
yeah.
San Fran.
Never say San Fran.
Sorry,
Well,
San Fran.
You could say it, but then people just know that you don't know. They'll be like,
SF.
she doesn't know. Yeah, so you gotta
I
go
don't.
SF.
I really don't. I've only been there once, so sorry,
Oh,
guys.
really? Yeah. We're thinking about trying to get you to Chinatown to have lunch, but you said you're too busy. You're flying in and out in one day.
Yeah, that day is crazy. I think I land that night, and then the event, then I fly home.
Yeah. That's how book tours go. They don't want to spend too much if they don't have to. So. All right, everyone out there, get a copy of the book wherever you get books. Follow Kat on social media. And you can always write to us, infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com, and follow us on Instagram and social media at Infatuasianpodcast. Thank you so much for listening. Now, Kat, this is something new. At the end of the show, I always say, we hope that you're happy, healthy, and safe. But I'm going to let you do the and part. So instead of safe, think of something that you would say. We hope that you're happy, healthy, and you fill in the last one, all right?
Okay.
All right, so on behalf of Kat, we hope that you are all happy, healthy, and...
spicy.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone!
Yay! That was so fun!